This is dedicated to my family, some of whom may never understand why Critter has got to walk the fucking warrior's path. But I love him anyway. I'm Ted Critter Montana, a critter in the sheets, a critter on the streets. But y'all can call me Critter. And this is Knifeslingin. Now, on or about my personal person, Critter is close to the exact approximation of 18 different knives, shivs, shanks, daggers, dirks, and other assorted bladed implements. Try to spot one. Go ahead. Before you ask, these two right here, like these guns they're strapped under, don't count. Go ahead. Try to spot one. Oh! Too late, hotshot. You're already dead. It's that simple. Oh! It's that fast. Ha! You're dead before you even know what's up. Ha! That's the first rule of Critter's 6 rules to save your ass. He's always going to be faster than you think. So how are you going to defend yourself? How are you going to stand up when the shit truly hits the oscillator? How will you become a Knifeslinger? Picture this. A rowdy Friday night over at Dusty's watering hole. And here's Critter, minding my own dang beeswax, when suddenly I knew, deep in the soul of my heart of hearts, that something was way the fuck wrong. As I reacted with superhuman speed and threw myself backwards with reflexes faster than any jungle feline, there was an arching blur of cold, steely death where my gut had been every moment before. To this day, I couldn't tell you what it was that caused my training to spring into action. Maybe it was the way the guy had crossed his arms into a cross position. Maybe it was the way I could tell just by looking at this guy that he didn't belong in this bar, if you catch my drift. Maybe it was Skinner telling me to give me 3 steps, mister, coming from the jukebox. Or whatever it was, Critter knew it was time to kick things up a notch. As I landed about 3 feet away from where I had almost recently been bisected in half, my blade slid into my hand. The action was real easy and real smooth. I crouched in my ready fighting crouch, and I stared at the punk with my 2 staring eyes. He looked at me for a moment in puzzled confusion. Several things were the same as they had been merely seconds before. Number 1, his surprise attack ambush had just missed, and not because he had done it correctly. Number 2, I myself was also armed, personally. Number 3, he had never seen this fighting form I was in. Number 4, it was obvious from the grace and superhuman speed with which I got into my fighting form that Critter had done this dance before. And D, if homeboy pushed it, he was either going to end up seriously fucking hurt or seriously fucking dead. Now, all this is me guessing a speculative hypothesis as to what the hombre was thinking, based purely on the following action. He beat feet out of there. That's right, he ran the hell away. And I stood there for a second with the adrenaline through my system. And then I went back to my wild turkey, Mr. Pibb. Before the ice even had a chance to melt. It's sort of pathetic, but most knife fights end with that same thrilling conclusion, while the participants fucking running away. Mr. Arms Cross Punk Esquire forgot about rule number 1. And Critter's gonna go ahead and remind you of Critter's 6 rules to save your ass since we're still in the early goings, but you better bet your bottom dollar ass there's gonna be a quiz. So Critter's 6 rules to save your ass, number 1. He's always going to be faster than you think. The he in this situation was me, not him. Now the purpose of this video is twofold, and it could save your life. Fold number 1 is to teach you all the art I can, is to pass along to you all the knowledge I can in the art of knife-slinging. While fold number 2 is to teach you when to need to know to sling one of these bad boys. Maybe you ought to write this down, potential knife slingers. Fold number 1 teaches you how to knife sling, while fold number 2 teaches you when to knife sling. That sometimes crap happens, but when it does, be the crap. That's all the Critter 6 rules to save your ass number 2. Crap happens. Be the crap. This video will get you prepared to be the crap 112%. And just by watching this video, you will be prepared to handle any extreme situation you find yourself in out on the streets. Critter guarantees you will survive. So what will you do? What will you do when you find yourself toe-to-toe and tit-to-tit with a real knifer? What will you do? What will you do? That's what I thought. Then bring it on, hotshot.
gentlemen, an excerpt from Exhibit A for the prosecution. Knifeslingin, Ted Critter, Montana, teaches you to survive the streets. Published 1989, entered by myself, the Assistant District Attorney. Where was I? I apologize, I appear to have lost my place. I need to consult my notes from time to time to help myself stay on track. I know from out there it may appear that I am reading from a script, but no, I am merely consulting my notes. Okay, so I see from consulting my notes, I should restate the facts of the case, which you have been called here to deliberate today, and why the viewing of this tape was relevant. In the early morning of July the 11th, Mr. Renfro was leaving an establishment on Lake Street and was allegedly approached by Mr. Omar as Mr. Renfro was unlocking his car. They spoke briefly, witnesses claim. According to Mr. Renfro, Mr. Omar attempted to steal his vehicle by force, and Mr. Renfro is claiming he defended himself and his property against Mr. Omar. All witnesses were too far away to clearly see what transpired. Mr. Omar himself is unavailable to comment on these events, as he has been in a comatose state from his injuries ever since that night. Mr. Renfro sustained no injuries. There was unfortunately no video recording of this incident. As I stated previously, Mr. Renfro is claiming self-defense. The law defines self-defense as the use of reasonable, necessary, and proportionate non-deadly force if the victim reasonably believes their person or property is being unlawfully threatened. Reasonable, necessary, non-deadly force is what the law requires. A folding knife belonging to Mr. Renfro was recovered at the scene, and no other weapon was found. Your charge, ladies and gentlemen of the grand jury, is not to find anyone guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, but rather to discern whether a preponderance of evidence exists to suggest the cheatings of Ted Critter, Montana, incited Mr. Renfro to violence against Mr. Omar. All right, I think we're ready to call him in. Bailiff, go ahead. The bailiff has sworn you in outside. Do you understand that you are now under oath?
Yes, sir.
Please state your name for the record.
Ted Montana.
Your full name, please. No nicknames.
Dakota, Montana.
Did you just say Dakota, Montana?
Yes, sir.
Dakota. Ted. Dakota. Ted. So Ted is short for Dakota.
No.
All right. Dakota, Montana, what do you prefer? Ted. Any other aliases?
Just my first name or my nickname, Your Honor.
Oh, you don't have to refer to me as Your Honor. I'm not a judge. I'm an assistant district attorney.
Sometimes my lady likes to refer to me as Monsieur Bronco.
No. Do you have to use the part as a street name?
Of course I do.
Just yes or no, please.
Then, yep.
Can you please state that for the record?
Critter.
Was that Critter?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Critter.
Oh, Mr. Montana is fine. See, a critter in the sheets, a critter on the streets, but Mr. Montana in the courtroom.
Now then, Mr. Critter, you are aware you have been summoned to appear today before this grand jury in Hennepin County in the state of Minnesota, correct?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever appeared before a grand jury before?
No, ma'am. Although I have appeared before several regular juries before as an expert witness. I figured a grand jury was just like a regular jury, only, grander.
Is that your occupation?
Expert witness, one of several.
Could you please state all of your occupations for the record?
Author, writer, lecturer, philosopher, consultant, instructor, teacher, bouncer, sensei, and expert witness.
Philosopher?
The bravest are surely those who know what lie before them, glory and danger alike, and yet, notwithstanding, go out and meet Thucydides. I'm sort of a, how do you call it, warrior poet?
Indeed. If we could go back to expert witness.
That's correct, your esquireness.
In what field would you consider yourself an expert, if I may ask, Mr. Peter Montana?
Self-defense, martial sciences, assault and battery, wound trauma and blood loss, assessing violent situations, and the diffusing of the previously aforementioned violent situations.
I see. And what sort of self-defense?
Only the practical, life-saving sorts.
Practical, life-saving sorts. Okay. So, boxing?
Just bare knuckle boxing.
Mixed martial arts?
Yeah, sure. As a warm-up.
Knife fighting? Mr. Montana, did you hear the question?
Yes, I did, your lawfulness.
Okay, that's enough. I'm not a judge. I'm not a royal figure. I am an assistant district attorney.
How does one refer to assistant district attorney? It's sort of a mouthful, your lawyerness. We're not going to get a first name basis here. What am I supposed to call you, Madam Prosecutor?
No, that's prosecutor.
That's what?
My name. It's pronounced prosecutor. Assistant district attorney, Dana Prosecutor, Esquire, prosecutor.
So, Madam Prosecutor, Prosecutor.
No, Madam Prosecutor, prosecutor.
How about counselor?
Why not?
Idiot!
Now, Mr. Critter, as to my question.
Which question was that, counselor?
Is knife fighting in your area of expertise?
Once upon a time, absolutely.
Just yes or no, please.
Well, yes, but,
Just yes or no, please.
yes.
I see. Now, do you know the purpose of this inquiry today?
You want me to give my expert opinion regarding self-defense on this altercation, and if, in my expert opinion, if this Mr. Renfro used the appropriate amount of force in response to his perceived threat, in my expert opinion.
That's about half right. Could you, sir, do me the favor of identifying the video clip that we are about to watch?
Well, I'm not an expert on videos, counselor.
Oh, I think you won't have any trouble here. Bailiff, the lights, please.
Why don't you go with the sound booth?
Oh, shh.
Have you ever heard the phrase, to tango, it takes? You need a duo to dance a tango? Well, it wasn't invented for knife fighting, but it may as well have been. You can't knife sling by yourself. But unfortunately, my partner Predator couldn't be here today, so Critter's gonna have to fly solo. Moment of silence for my partner Predator as he recovers from multiple slash wounds to the abdomen, the torso, and the thorax. Get well soon, brother. But Critter does not recommend nor condone trying this at home by yourself. Get some buddies together. Lay down some tarps in case of accidental arterial spray. Get yourself some rubber knives, some chicken gloves, and some eye protection, fucking goggles or whatever. That's all Critter asks, fucking goggles. But you need to have somebody else there in case one of these moves goes tragically wrong to administer first aid or have them help you last rites. It's not pretty, this business, folks. This is reality. Now, the first step in saving your ass is how to hold your instrument. I hope you noticed just then, without rewinding it, Critter didn't say weapon just then. Know the difference between a knife and a fucking weapon. A knife can be a weapon, sure, but it can also spread your butter on your toast or help little Bobby open his present on Christmas morning. It's a tool that serves a purpose, and your instrument can be the purposeful tool that saves your ass. Whereas a weapon, that only has one purpose, and that's to perform needlepoint on some poor sucker's guts. Gotta be careful out there, folks. This isn't for fun. Okay, so the first step in how to hold your instrument is how to grip your instrument. There's a whole lot of grips out there, but Critter doesn't want to take too much of your time on this, so I'm going to be brief here. Only go over those that are the most crucially important. You have the natural grip, the hammer grip, the saber grip, the ice pick, the reverse ice pick, the punch grip, the palm grip, the peekaboo grip, the snake charmer, the Wingardium Leviosa, formerly known as the Bippity Boppity Boop, the hot potato, the paper airplane, the Mr. Holland's Opus, the we're number one, that hey, you're doing fine, the oh yeah, we'll hop on board, the dainty cup of tea, the the go long, but hey, check this out, the rock grip, the jazz grip, the drum line, the 1, 2, 3, 4. The what's the deal with this grip? For the purposes of this video, Critter recommends you stick with either the natural grip or the saber grip, but that's what Critter uses. Those are the simplest and the most effective. Now, Hollywood would probably want you to use the ice pick or the hot potato, probably because they look cool. But why don't you go look around at your surroundings once in a while? This look like fucking Hollywood to you? Didn't think so. Okay, so you got your grip. What comes next? From here, find your feet. Let Critter let you in on a little secret. 99% of all knife fighting is balance. Seems a little high. Maybe not 99%, more like 70, 75%. Oh, that only leaves like 25 for the knife. Never mind the degree of importance here, the fucking takeaway is that balance is important. Because when you're balanced, you can move. And that's Critter 6 rule to save your ass number 3. Cha-cha your damn feet. You know, cha-cha. Cha-cha like your life depends on it. Because it does. Balance is key to knife slinging. If nothing else, when you're balanced, you can pivot. When you can pivot, you can rotate. See? Critter can do this all day. And I do. I practice these moves 1,000 times every morning, as you can probably tell. That's what helps keep Critter so sharp. You will be too once you start practicing. But now, take a look at this here. Hollywood wants you to stand like this. Probably the best implement that hot potato. Does this look very balanced to you? No way. Forget it, Hollywood. This is the streets. Knifeslingin. Wow, where in the double hockey sticks did you find that?
So you do recognize the video?
Well, sure, that's one of my instructional how-to videos for instructional purposes from back in the day. Oh, what was that, 88, 89?
Could you state the name of the video for the record?
That was Knifeslingin, wasn't it? Oh, man, I haven't seen that in years.
Was there more than one video, Mr. Critter?
Oh, sure, we had a whole line of self-defense books and videos back then.
We?
Me and my partner, Predator. We used to ride together when I rode with the Hell's Mechanics out of Chillicothe. Well, ex-partner, I should say. God rest his soul.
Oh, I am sorry for your loss.
Oh, he's not dead. He's just a cashier over at the Olive Alley now.
And what were some of the other books or videos that you had with your ex-partner? Were they all regarding knife fighting?
Oh no, we had all sorts. Barroom brawls, gang warfare, sporting event celebrations, all sorts.
Don't die if you can help it. Cheap shot to the breadbasket. How to keep your head on in a swivel in a bar fight. Here comes the bride, wide right hook, taking the fancy gloves off at a wedding reception punch-up.
Oh yeah, that's taking me back. You found them all, huh?
No, sir. It's easy to recall the titles of your works when they are listed as evidence. Did you hear me, Mr. Critter? These items were in the possession of Mr. Renfro when he was arrested in the altercation on Lake Street and have been entered into evidence accordingly.
Okay. What's going on here, really? Are you trying to find a way to tie me to this attack somehow?
It is the court's opinion that you had influenced Mr. Renfro into committing this act of violence and even encouraged him to do it, which would make you an accessory before the fact.
Yeah, sure, 30 years before the fact.
You've been publishing books and videos almost non-stop since the mid-80s. Mr. Critter, so the publication date of this particular video is not relevant.
Right, but these
You even
days...
stated your occupation as instructor, consultant, and sensei, did you not?
Correct.
And these days you still lecture and teach on the subject of self-defense, correct?
Correct.
Would any of these lectures be closed affairs, or are they open for anyone to attend?
They are open to the public.
Public like Mr. Renfro.
I suppose, but public like Mr. Omar too, in case you're wondering.
Yes, but Mr. Omar has not attended any of your lectures, while Mr. Renfro has.
Really?
On several occasions.
No shit.
His copy of If He's Still Moving, You're Doing It Wrong is personalized. Remember, an armed society is a polite society. All the rude fuckers are dead. Critter.
That's pretty standard.
So that's enough for this court and this jury gathered here today to investigate your role in the incident and what sort of responsibility you bear for it.
And if I were to ask if there is some sort of legal precedent for this sort of accusation?
Are you aware of Bill HF 238?
Can't say that I am.
Mr. Montana.
No, I'm not aware.
It's a bill that passed the Minnesota legislature earlier this year. It basically amends Minnesota statute 609.06, which, as I'm sure you're aware,
Authorized use of force where the state defines self-defense.
correct. That amendment would add the clauses so many other states have already adopted and have been calling it the Stand Your Ground law.
Yeah, I'm aware of it.
Wherein a person is legally allowed the use of deadly force if a person feels their life is threatened or in the defense of one's home, vehicle, or property.
And how does that serve as precedent for this case, Counselor?
Honestly, it doesn't. But this case could serve as precedent-setting decision the governor could look to when that bill comes across his desk.
Okay, I get it. Sure. But there's no way you can time me to that attack without any kind of reasonable doubt.
That is not the purpose of a grand jury, Mr. Critter. I just need to show those present that a preponderance of evidence exists to say you are, at the very least, partially responsible for instigating Mr. Renfro's alleged attack on Mr. Omar for them to issue an indictment against you. For there it is up to a trial and judge to decide.
This is crazy.
Oh, is it? You're saying that you and your methods have no influence over others.
That's right. That's outrageous.
Bane of the lights, if you please. I think you'll find this next clip quite enlightening, Mr. Critter.
Still don't believe it can be that easy? Well, don't take my word for it. Let's hear an actual testimonial from an actual knife slinger. You. Come on. Here. Make me look good.
Before I met Critter, I thought my ass was grass. But then I learned that fat lips heal, and it's no big deal. And you don't want to get stabbed. That'd be bad. Now I have 5 knives on me at all times. My kids even started calling me 5 Knives. They know what's up. Thanks, Critter.
Thank you, friend. Why don't you show them what you got? It's okay. It's rougher.
Okay.
Show them your grip. Yeah. Now show them your cha-cha. Hey, all right. Let's hear it for the Knifeslingin. Now, that may have been a graduated, certifiable knife slinger, but you may have noticed she's got shit when it comes to stance. Sorry, bro. You gotta have a good stance when the bozo brigade starts flashing blades. Okay, so you got your grip, you got your balance. Now it's time to pick your stance. Which one are you gonna pick? Again, Critter's gonna be brief here. I'm only gonna go over those that are the most critically important. Like we mentioned before, there's the Hollywood stance. You wanna avoid this one. From here, there's the military stance, the pissed off stance, a samurai stance, the shark stance, the jet stance, the Fred Astaire, the Bob Fosse, the Heisman, the Superman, the I'm not left-handed, the Thriller, Batter Up, the Babe, the Narwhal, the Unicorn, the Rhino, the Scorpion, the Half Walrus, the Full Walrus, the Elk, the Bull, the Moose, the Rowboat, the American Gladiator, the Coming In for a Landing, and the World Dervish. Now again, whichever of these you prefer, that's really up to you. But Critter can tell you the only stance that's worth a king's farthing is this stance right here, the military stance. This arm works as both a shield and buffer. True story. I learned this stance from a guy I rode with the Hells Mechanics. He told me he served in both Vietnam and Fort Lauderdale. This was the stance they taught him in the armed forces. He got down to this stance and I was just like, man, you know, that arm is pretty tempting. He told me, go ahead. Free advice here, folks. If ever a guy with a knife is all calm and like, go ahead. Don't do it. I speak words of steel here. Yeah, so this stance. Notice that you can still pivot, but your weapon arm is free to both attack and counterattack if that you both wants to go for this tempting arm. What this stance best prepares you for is Critter's 6 rules to save your ass. Number 4, protect your junk. Yeah, you can laugh it up. I said junk. The obvious answer here being the family jewels. But what junk can also refer to is this space right here. This is yours. This is your zone. And you don't let any punk, shit kicker, cholo, homeboy, or thug ever come into your zone. You know what I mean. Anybody who wouldn't let get too close to you after dark, if you catch my drift. They cross the boundaries here, here, or here. They're trespassing. You should protect what's yours and respond in kind. Maybe with a huh, or ho. You protect what's yours. That don't mean you still can't be mobile. You better cha-cha your damn feet and retreat and get some space between you and that asshole. But you never forget, you stand your ground and you protect what's yours. Knifeslingin.
That last bit there seems pretty enlightening, wouldn't you say, Mr. Critter?
Of course, being mobile is crucial to avoiding any dangerous situation, confrontation, or danger.
Not that the part where you referred to your zone.
I stand by that. You gotta have boundaries.
To prevent anyone from getting too close, correct?
Exactly.
Well, no, and not anyone. My mistake, you didn't say anyone, did you?
I don't recall.
No. You listed a number of someones you didn't want to get too close. Can you repeat that list now?
Listen, the reason I use lists in all my teachings is to be direct and to the point and to avoid being repetitive, redundant, and repetitive-dundant. So, to repeat myself now would be, I think we can all agree, the paragon of repetitive-redundancy. The apex of redundancy. The pinnacle of repeating oneself, the height, width, and breadth of saying the same shit over and over again, the fucking
On the top of
ultimate...
my notes, you say, don't let any punk, shit kicker, cholo, homeboy, or thug ever come in this zone. You know who I mean. Anyone you wouldn't normally let get too close to you after dark, if you catch my drift.
That's super repetitive paragon.
But I'm not sure I do catch your drift, Mr. Critter. Could you elaborate on those you wouldn't normally let get too close to you after dark?
Come on. You know. Everybody here knows, right? Oh, come on. Don't act like you don't cross the street. You see someone who looks like they don't belong in this neighborhood? You don't put your keys between your fingers, get out your little pepper spray. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
So anyone who looks different from you.
I didn't say that. It's ridiculous to imply that. Oh, but yeah, exactly that.
So anyone who looks different from you should not be allowed in your zone.
That's right.
Because why? Because they'll rob you, attack you if you let them get too close.
You never know with them. That's why you can't let them get too close. They're all a threat.
I see. Thank you, Mr. Critter.
But hold on. But wait a minute, counselor. Don't think I don't see what you're trying to do here.
What am I trying to do, Mr. Critter?
You are trying to trick me, yeah?
I'm just asking you questions about your video.
Right, but you're implying that because of these very satisfactorily regarded and regionally well-selling video cassettes, that I somehow influence the way people view people that look differently from them, and thusly make it easier for those previously mentioned peoples to treat those unlatterly mentioned peoples differently than those firstly regarded peoples, right?
What?
You're not the only one to ask the tough questions, counselor.
I am not trying to trick you.
All I know from my rough riding days, that's all I'm trying to say. You can never tell by looking at anybody, literally anybody, that could have an entire arsenal under their personal clothing apparel.
Mr. Critter, are you right now carrying any concealed weapons on your person?
Weapons? No.
Are you carrying any concealed knives?
It's not my fault. The metal detectors in this place ain't for shit.
Oh, Lord.
They're just my standard everyday knives. No big deal.
No big deal.
The sign outside to this place bans guns on the premises. Didn't say shit about banning knives.
Weapons is implied, Mr. Critter. No weapons on the premises. Do you have any others?
No, I'm not carrying any weapons.
Tools, then? Instruments? Whatever other cockamamie term you use to refer to knives or bladed instruments.
Fine. Got a Tonto here. It's good for cleaning out my nails. I got this little guy. He's good for opening up mail, packages, and the like. Oh, speaking of packages, oh, I got an actual box cutter here. It's got flames on the side for speed. Oh, this one's I like this one. You know, this is a nice one because it's got this extra tool here. Cut myself off my seatbelt. I remember trapped in my car.
Oh, I'm glad the knife expert has an extra tool to cut something.
Speaking of car, here are my keys. I got one inside there. This one's handy, yeah. Inside my pen. Yeah, just a comb. Nope. Well, then we have, if I can get it off there we go, got that.
Is that a battery?
Sometimes you gotta be Batman.
Bailiff, please, collect these weapons.
Oh, come on, they're not weapons.
You really want to have this argument with me?
Fine. You can say your next line, this might take some minute.
Do you have any others? Mr. Critter?
Hang on. Last one, promise.
So let me consult my notes here. You think it is perfectly normal to walk around with weapons?
Not weapons.
With weapons strapped all over your person. You believe if anyone were to see you with these weapons out in public, they wouldn't see anything wrong. You are just ready to handle any extreme situation if it were to happen to you.
I recall not saying that.
But if someone else were to walk around wearing things such as these, someone that didn't look like you wouldn't view them as normal, would you?
No. They would be a threat.
They would be a threat. And if you can't see these weapons that you keep concealed on you. What's to say that they aren't carrying weapons that you can't see? So, they're all a threat, aren't they?
Don't act like this is some revolutionary thinking here. I'm not saying anything new.
The hypocrisy of proclaiming your students should arm themselves just in case the world is armed cannot be lost on you.
Boy Scouts carry pocket knives. Their motto is be prepared.
But you're not training Boy Scouts, Mr. Critter. You are training an army.
I'm training a what now?
Not an army in the traditional manner, but don't you believe every single person who takes your classes is training to fight someone to the death?
I'm only teaching them to be prepared in case they have to fight someone to the death.
What's the difference?
Everything's the difference.
Enlighten us, please.
Looking for trouble is one thing. What happens if trouble picks you? How are you supposed to handle that?
There are so many solutions other than violence.
And what if all those other solutions fail? What if it's unavoidable? How are you supposed to handle it?
With 12 knives you keep strapped to your person?
The only way to stop a bad guy with a knife is a good guy with a knife.
And you, by default, are the good guy in all these situations.
Look, just because I carry these things doesn't mean I ever want to use them.
What other reason could there possibly be?
Listen to me. Just because I carry knives doesn't mean I ever wish to use them. For God's sake. I'm a pacifist.
Say what?
I'm a pacifist. I'm morally opposed to any use of violence.
Bailiff, lights!
Okay, see if you can spot the difference between these two strikes. Well, that was probably too fast for you, I get that. But the main difference was one was wide, while one was quick. Whichever one of those you prefer, that's really up to you. Remember, it's all about how many blows you can get on that mofo before he stops moving. You know, boom, loss of blood, shot, he's down, out of the picture. This is a good situation. Okay, now imagine he's coming at you with a knife like this, and every dick pulling Hollywood movie wants you to block his arm, and then hope that he stands still, waits patiently so you can kung fu him or whatever. But in reality, you stop his hand, ain't good for you. He's just gonna come around here and then boom, knife to meet you. Make sure, if you can help it, to just wound the guy instead of killing him. Killing the dude is such a hassle. But slashing at their arms, that's just aggravated assault, not attempted murder, much less the headache. I'm telling you folks, arms are primo targets. They stick their arm out there like that, you just chop it off. Okay, listen. If you decide you want to punch somebody's ticket, what you gotta do is you gotta come in close, yeah? You gotta hit them hard, hit them fast, hit them multiple. You gotta hang on too, because they're gonna fight back. They don't just fall over and die like in the movies. They'll be giving you everything they got. Okay, now, apart from the bodily fluids, that was it, you know? After a fight like that, normally Critter would be covered, and I mean covered, from skull to stroke. In blood, and urine, and sweat, and feces. It's not pretty, this business. It's brutal, it's fast, it's ugly. And if you're not ready to die trying, you're not ready. Oh, fuck me. Hey, Liz.
Hey,
How's it going?
I am just enjoying my time spent with you.
Ditto.
We're not on right now, right?
Oh, no. I thought I'd give them a break from trying to figure out all the legal details, so they don't think it's getting too real.
Oh, right. I'm sure everyone here is really worried that this is all absolutely real.
You know, that would probably be a sicker burn if you weren't reading it from a script.
And that would be a funnier joke if you weren't the one who wrote the script.
I'm gonna run to the bar. You want anything?
Oh, dude.
I don't start the scene on stage, I'm fine.
Okay. Where were we? Ladies and gentlemen, you can tell from those clips we've just watched that it appears Mr. Montana may be a little bit confused when he refers to himself as a pacifist. Since he's so quick to point out how many strikes it takes until the mofo stops moving. So then, Mr. Dude, you are on stage!
My bad.
Seriously.
You're the one with the scripts.
Their notes.
Moats notes.
Oh God, can we,
Fine.
And now then, Mr. Critter, you claim to be a pacifist, but these clips from your video tell a very different story.
Those clips are from 30 years ago, counselor.
Then you come into my courtroom armed to the teeth.
Do you know what I've been doing since I've made those videos, counselor?
You made several more videos. And you tour, and you give lectures.
Right, but I've spent the last 20 years teaching people how to avoid violence. Let me give you for instance. One of my students is a bouncer at this club, and they got a problem with this guy coming in, a real nasty dude. They call him Crazy Train. Let's get drunk and wave this giant sawback machete around. How the hell the guy can sneak that into a club is beyond me, but that's off to him. And naturally, security's a little hesitant to approach a guy with a 3-foot dick chopper, yeah? So I tell my guy, next time Crazy Train comes in and starts waving that thing around, you just saddle up to him, calm as can be. You tell him, hey brother, that's a sweet blade you got there. But I bet you a beer, you could throw that thing into this charter got set up out back and make it stick. Then they lead him out into the alley, they have him throw a machete into a dumpster or a stuffed moose or something. And here's the best part. It sticks, it doesn't stick, it don't matter. Because now he's outside the bar. And they can beat his ass in that alley as much as they need. Easy peasy, score another one for Critter.
You think that de-escalates a situation without violence? Beating him out in an alley?
But it got him out of the bar without any violence though, didn't it?
Quite. Which reminds me, what qualifications do you have for teaching any of these, this expertise anyway?
From my rough riding days, me and my partner Predator were getting all kinds
Yes,
of
right,
shit.
but indulge me in something here. I don't help but notice you instruct your students to aim for the arms and that it will not be attempted murder, is that correct?
You saw the clip?
Yes or no, please?
Yes.
So anyone who has been in a lot of knife fights of the sort that you describe, where you are covered from skull to scrot in bodily fluids, surely would have plenty of scars to show from the battle you've survived, yes? Are you willing to show your arms now, sir?
Fine. I got nothing to hide.
I don't see any from here, but that could just be my angle. Ladies and gentlemen, do you see any scars from where you are sitting?
You don't have to ask them. They're already.
I see. Why is that, Mr. Montana?
Because I've never been cut by a knife on my arm.
Have you ever been cut by a knife anywhere else, sir? Your legs or your torso? Or are you just that good that you've never allowed yourself to be hit?
No, I have other scars.
From how many knife fights? And I will remind you, you are under oath.
One. Yep.
Mr. Montana, how many knife fights have you been in altogether?
One.
Not the dozens and dozens you claim in your books and videos.
Nope. Just the one.
Oh, is it the story you tell at the beginning of your video at the ball?
Oh, that wasn't a knife fight. The guy just took a slice at me and I jumped out of the way.
And pulled your own knife.
I wasn't even carrying a knife back then. I grabbed a pool cue and I was like, let's go, sucker! Boogaloo till you puke!
See, well then, pray tell, what was your one and only knife fight?
It was, with Predator.
You got into a knife fight with your friend?
He drew his knife first. I was defending myself.
What were the circumstances?
He was cut off from the bar. I was walking to his car so I could drive him home. He was so drunk. Shoved me.
Then what?
Got real messy. He pulled his knife, I pulled mine. He was a much better fighter than me, but he was so drunk I thought I had a chance. But I'd never done anything like that before. Couldn't think straight. All the shit we said in the books and videos we made, all the stories I heard him tell, the guy he taken out, I just wanted him to calm down. But then he got me my side, and it bled like crazy, and I couldn't.
Couldn't what?
Stop.
You survived, though.
Yeah, I did. So did he. Barely.
And was that the end of your partnership?
What? No way. After a few minutes, we got too tired to slash each other anymore, so we just sat down on the curb, leaning on the pavement. Had ourselves another beer. We were still buds. Blood buds.
I don't understand. You were still friends after trying to kill each other.
It's not like that, but see, that's when I became a pacifist. Because I didn't even try to talk him down. I could have. Even when he had his knife out, I know I could have stopped him.
But
I thought I could beat him.
you let your pride take over.
There was no backing down. But see, that is why we made all these books and videos, to let you know that sometimes you don't have a choice. Even if it's against your blood bud, you have to fight.
That makes no sense. There is always another choice.
Not if someone's trying to kill you.
An eye for the eye makes the whole world blind.
Then don't let them take your eyes.
There's got to be a better way than
I
violence.
already told you I'm opposed to
Then
violence.
why are we yelling at each other?
I don't know. I don't know.
As district attorney? No, it's pronounced prosecutor. Yes, I'm sure. Oh, that is unfortunate. I'll be right there. I'm going to step outside for a moment, confer with my colleagues. I'll be right back. Yes. No, he said what?
It's just a bottle opener. That'll do. We're almost to the end anyway, right? This is Critter's favorite part. Bailiff, hit them lights. Critter's 6 rules to save your ass. Number 5, know thy instruments. By instrument, Critter sure as shit don't mean that swinging monster you think you got going on down there, pal. You know Critter's talking about this. The Arkansas toothpick. Satan's finger. The Tijuana tickler. The New York needle. The Bombay bayonet. The Reno razor. The Saigon scalpel. The Tokyo talon. The Singapore sting. The South Bend switchblade. The Moscow machete. The Rio Grande Ripper. The San Antonio scimitar. The Detroit duster. The Cleveland hand cleaver. The Toronto tonto. The Calcutta cutter. The San Jose stiletto. The Cheyenne chopper. The Scotch screwdriver. The Bogota broadsword. The Helsinki hacksaw. The Pensacola piercer. The Glasgow ginsu. The Mordor murder iron. The Istanbul icicle, formerly known as the Constantinople cutlass. The Barcelona Balathon. The Saskatoon, the Saskatoon scissor. The Warsaw war claw. The Kalamazoo K-bar. The Shreveport sharp finger. The Walla Walla Whittler. The Scottsdale Skinner. The Flagstaff. The Folsom Prison face poker. The Deadwood Deathwood. The Zanzibar Zorro sword. The Pig's Eye pig sticker, now known as the St. Paul sticker of pigs. That's a local joke, it kills in the Twin Cities. The Shawshank Jawshank. The The Winston-Salem Thunder Ribbit. The Queen City Quitter. The Skyline Chili. The Worcestershire Weapon. The Intercourse Pennsylvania Intestinal Prober. The First Avenue Filet, now known as Purple Pain, R.I.P. Prince. And the Birmingham Bowie, formerly known as Ziggy Starthrust, and the Knifers from Mars. When you know your instrument, you know what it can do. Not just to another human being, but to you, to your soul, to who you thought you were before you ever drew one, held one, swung one to somebody. I've said a lot today, but hear me when I say this. Don't ever get involved with these things unless you're willing to let them change you, for better or for worse. Critter's a firm believer of the belief guns for show, knives for a fucking pro. Knifeslingin.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I have consulted with the district attorney and my fellow assistant district attorneys and the mentoring judge in this case, and they have informed me, they have all informed me that there is no way we could ever bring an indictment against Mr. Montana.
They have?
Furthermore, they want me to extend an apology to Mr. Montana for any sort of discomfort we may have caused him. You are free to go, Mr. Montana.
Wait, what was the catch?
No catch. I was informed that Bill HF 238 has just passed.
No shit.
No shit. So there is no point in continuing these proceedings.
But what about responsibility?
Mr. Critter, you could have been standing next to Mr. Renfro that night, telling him in his ear to look out for anyone that looks like Mr. Omar. You could have even placed the knife in his hand, but it is all moot.
Because he was protecting his car.
That is right. Mr. Renfro claims he was protecting his personal property. And now the law says he was within his rights to use whatever amount of force he felt was appropriate.
Okay, but what about...
Mr. Critter, I am really not in the mood to answer any of your questions. You have been dismissed. You may leave. Bailiff, please return Mr. Critter's tools or instruments, whatever the hell you call them, to help you sleep at night. You've won, Mr. Critter, and I would really rather not hear you gloat. My hands are tied. Please leave.
Can I ask you something?
Fine.
You gonna give up?
On this case, like I said, Mr. Critter, it's moot now. The
Not
law
this particular case. Any case where this stand your ground thing applies?
maybe, I don't know. No. No, I can't.
Good. That's all I wanted to hear. Look, I don't remember this Mr. Renfro, but I wish I had been there that night. Because I would have told him we need options other than nothing or deadly. Because the more options you have, the easier it is to, I guess what I'm trying to say is that some people are afraid to learn to walk the warrior's path because they're afraid it'll lead to violence, but know how to defend yourself doesn't lead to violence. Being aggressive leads to violence. Knowing how to handle yourself in an extreme situation is not aggressive. Or something. I don't know. I'm better on video.
Mr. Critter?
Madam Prosecutor, Madam Prosecutor, Counselor.
If I need an expert witness in any of these cases,
Bring it on, hot shot. We covered a lot here today. It got pretty real. I didn't want to sugarcoat nothing for you though. Critter don't mess. I'd show you what it was truly like out there. But I promised you at the start of this video twofold: how to knife sling and when to knife sling. And I definitely showed you how. But I've yet to show you when. And that's the thing. There is no right time to knife sling. Hope that sinks in. And that's the last of Critter 6 rules to save your ass. Walk the warrior's path. Warrior's path. Ooh, what's that? Well, it doesn't mean you wander here looking to start trouble with any twerp you think is looking at you sideways. It means knowing the difference between when a situation is dangerous and when a situation ain't worth your time or effort. Like me. Critter's been walking the warrior's path his whole fucking life. And you can too. So when do you knife sling? Well, there's no opposing traffic. There's no passing. There's no passing allowed on the warrior's path. Any opposing traffic you see coming at you from the other direction, that's fair game. Once you've learned that, hot shots, that's when you'll be ready. That's when you will be a true knife slinger.